Homeownership represents one of life's greatest achievements, but beneath the surface of this milestone lies a complex web of legal responsibilities that many property owners never fully understand. While most homeowners focus on mortgage payments and routine maintenance, they often overlook the significant legal risks that can emerge unexpectedly, potentially resulting in costly lawsuits, financial devastation, and prolonged legal battles. The modern legal landscape surrounding property ownership has evolved dramatically over recent decades. Environmental regulations have become increasingly stringent, liability standards have expanded, and new technologies have created previously unknown risks. These changes mean that actions that were once considered routine property management decisions can now trigger serious legal consequences. Understanding these hidden risks is not about creating fear, but rather empowering homeowners to make informed decisions and implement appropriate protective measures. Property boundary disputes rank among the most common and emotionally charged legal conflicts homeowners face. These disputes often arise from outdated surveys, conflicting property descriptions, or natural changes to boundary markers over time. What makes these situations particularly treacherous is that many homeowners discover boundary problems only when they attempt major improvements, or when neighbors begin construction projects. The legal doctrine of adverse possession adds another layer of complexity to boundary issues. Under certain circumstances, neighbors who have openly used portions of your property for extended periods may actually acquire legal rights to that land. This means that failing to address encroachments promptly can result in permanent loss of property rights. The requirements vary by state but typically involve continuous open use of the property for periods ranging from 5 to 20 years. Title defects represent another category of hidden risks that can surface years after purchase. While title insurance provides some protection, it does not cover all potential problems. Issues such as forged documents, undisclosed heirs, errors in public records, or fraud in the chain of title can emerge unexpectedly, clouding ownership rights and requiring expensive legal action to resolve. Environmental contamination represents one of the most financially devastating risks facing homeowners today. Unlike other legal issues that may result in manageable costs, environmental problems can lead to cleanup expenses that exceed the property's entire value. The complexity of environmental law combined with strict liability standards makes this area particularly dangerous for unsuspecting property owners. Soil contamination can occur from numerous sources that may predate current ownership. Former gas stations, dry cleaners, industrial facilities, or residential heating oil tanks can leave behind contamination that remains undetected for years. Once discovered, current property owners may find themselves responsible for cleanup costs regardless of who caused the problem. Underground storage tanks, commonly used for home heating oil in older properties, represent a particularly frequent source of environmental liability when they develop leaks over time. Water contamination issues add another dimension to environmental exposure. Private wells can become contaminated through various means, and homeowners may face liability for providing contaminated water, or may be required to install expensive treatment systems. Additionally, wetlands regulations can restrict seemingly minor activities like landscaping or construction, with violations resulting in substantial fines and restoration requirements. Swimming pools create one of the most significant liability exposures for homeowners, particularly regarding drowning incidents involving children. The attractive nuisance doctrine recognizes that pools naturally attract children who cannot fully appreciate the inherent dangers. This legal principle means that property owners may be held liable for injuries to trespassing children if they fail to implement reasonable safety precautions. Pool safety regulations vary by jurisdiction but typically mandate specific fencing requirements, self-closing gates, and proper latching mechanisms. However, compliance with these basic requirements may not provide complete protection from liability. Courts often examine whether additional safety measures should have been implemented based on specific circumstances, such as the presence of neighborhood children or known instances of trespassing. The liability extends beyond just drowning incidents to include near-drowning events that can result in permanent brain damage and other serious injuries. These cases often result in substantial damage awards due to the severity of injuries and the lifelong care requirements. Even when pools are properly maintained and safety equipment is in place, homeowners may face liability if safety measures are found inadequate, or if proper supervision was not maintained during pool use. Homeowners must also consider liability for adult drowning incidents, particularly when alcohol is involved. Social host liability laws in many states can hold property owners responsible for injuries occurring when guests consume alcohol on their premises, even if the homeowner did not directly provide the alcohol. Pool parties and social gatherings around swimming pools create heightened risks that require careful consideration and potentially additional insurance coverage. Home construction and renovation projects present numerous opportunities for legal complications that can result in significant financial losses and ongoing disputes. Construction negligence can occur in various forms, from substandard workmanship to failure to obtain proper permits, and the consequences can be both immediate and long-term. Contractor licensing and insurance verification represents a critical but often overlooked aspect of construction projects. Many homeowners fail to confirm that contractors hold appropriate licenses and carry adequate insurance coverage. This oversight can leave property owners exposed to liability for worker injuries, property damage, or defective work. Unlicensed contractors may not carry workers' compensation insurance, creating potential liability if workers are injured on the property. Building code violations and permit issues frequently arise during construction projects. Work performed without proper permits can create significant problems, including requirements to tear out completed work, higher costs for retroactive permits, and potential issues with insurance coverage or future property sales. Mechanics' liens represent one of the most serious legal risks associated with construction projects. These liens allow contractors, subcontractors, and material suppliers to claim an interest in the property if they are not paid for their work. Even when homeowners pay general contractors in full, unpaid subcontractors may still file liens against the property. Once filed, these liens can prevent property sales and may require expensive legal action to resolve. According to Stein law, construction defects may not become apparent until months or years after project completion, making detection and resolution particularly challenging. The legal concept of premises liability places significant responsibility on homeowners for injuries occurring on their property. This obligation extends beyond invited guests to include various categories of visitors, each with different levels of legal protection. Property owners must maintain their premises in reasonably safe condition and warn of known hazards that may not be obvious to visitors. Slip and fall accidents represent one of the most common sources of premises liability claims, often resulting from wet surfaces, uneven walkways, inadequate lighting, or poorly maintained stairs. Seasonal hazards create additional liability concerns that many homeowners overlook. Snow and ice removal obligations vary by jurisdiction. Similarly, falling tree branches from diseased or unstable trees can create liability exposure if property owners fail to address obvious hazards. Most homeowners mistakenly believe their insurance policies provide comprehensive protection against potential losses and liabilities. Flood damage exclusions are among the most significant, as standard homeowners insurance typically excludes damage from surface water affecting multiple properties. Mold damage exclusions have become increasingly common, following significant insurance losses in previous years. While some policies may cover mold resulting from covered events like burst pipes, business activity exclusions mean that homeowners insurance will not cover liability claims arising from business activities, even small or part-time operations conducted from the home. Stein law specializes in these types of legal matters and understands the complex interplay between insurance coverage, liability exposure, and property owner responsibilities. Understanding these hidden legal risks empowers homeowners to take proactive steps to protect their investments and families. While the legal landscape may seem daunting, proper preparation, adequate insurance coverage, and professional legal guidance when needed can help homeowners avoid many potential pitfalls and enjoy their properties with greater peace of mind.